Yeah, I definitely think that there are some very specific schools of thought in game design that have arisen out of, I guess, the design philosophy or the priorities of certain studios, right? Because a lot of studios started small and they were, a handful of people. They came from a similar background. Like, I mean, Looking Glass was founded by people who went to MIT together and came out of like the computer science department there. Um, and a lot of those priorities, in the case of like the Looking Glass legacy that led to System Shock and Bioshock and Deus Ex and all that kind of stuff, is very focused on interaction and simulation, and being hands off with the player and allowing a lot of player agency to drive what happens on screen. Bioshock was a version of making those design principles more accessible, I think, to a broader audience by saying, okay, these aspects of game design are really interesting, and they're also kind of best practices of what methods are being used to get these ideas across in other games. Going forward into Bioshock Infinite, which is a very different game than its inspirations in a lot of ways, but that still, working with Ken Levine on that game, it was still always his priority to say, like, we need to not take control away from the player unless we absolutely have to. If you take the control away from the player, it's because something fictionally happened, like the thing they were on collapsed, or whatever. And it's a set of priorities that come from what you've worked on before, but also the kinds of games you really like, and they're just ideas that are assumptions in one place. And then you could go work somewhere else, and it's like, well, we come from a design culture where we assume it's fine if you walk through a door, we can just kick you into a cutscene, because that's just like how the games we make are.